I'm back now from an amazing trip to Namibia with OM System and the Defender experience. Isn't it just like an amazing feeling when you come back and you actually really love the photos? Oh, I can't wait to show you what I captured. Also, we're in the middle of a heat wave in the UK. There's about a 5-minute window before I start looking a little bit dishevelled, I'm sorry. So here's what I got up to. Here's how the OM System equipment performed, and if you like the look of any of the places that I visited, I'll link everything in the description. It was pretty much straight off the plane, into the Defender and onto the safari experience. We had an amazing guide called Felix and we were on the lookout for an adult leopard. In this reserve, the adult leopards have like a little tracking collar on. It's not like completely easy for them to be found or anything. You have what can only be described as a magic wafting stick, and the beeps where you point it, if the beeps get faster then the leopard is generally in that direction, so it made them slightly easier to find, and it's for, you know, tracking them for conservation reasons, for research. It was a really interesting experience and very exhilarating to be on the hunt for the leopards, and we soon found her. What a gorgeous animal. Mid-tracking, we got a call on the radio that another adult leopard, Khaleesi, was out with her baby cubs, so off we went. We went to try and find the babies, and my goodness, this was such an amazing thing to have seen, and I can't believe it happened day one. Like, it really set the tone for the rest of the trip. The leopard cubs are so playful. It's amazing to me whenever I photograph big cats just how much they remind me of my domestic cat. What do you think, DIY Tony? Oh, I see. Yeah, makes sense. I just think even though they've got big murder mittens, they have so many similar characteristics. And this photo in particular of this curious little baby boy is one of my favourites of the whole trip. I love the lighting, I love the curiosity. I think I'm going to take that one and pop it on my wall with 2 others that I'll show you on this trip as well.
That was stunning. They went up the tree, they went round the car. What a lucky day. Honestly, I mean, it's not even midday yet. Amazing.
By day 2, we were 2 for 2 in breaking the safari vehicles, which was quite funny.
So, pros and cons. Pros, the leopard came back out.
There's her butt, there's her butt, I can see her butt.
Cons, we've broke down.
1, 2, 3.
We're back.
Wow, what's wrong?
Just broke down in front of a hyena, but it's okay.
Speaking of the hyena, this was the dude that we saw at sunset, and my goodness, the lighting was incredible. I think looking at these images, it gives me a little bit of melancholy, to be honest, because he was such a snoozy little boy. He's clearly been in some fights in his life. He comes across as quite a dishevelled wild creature, and that's exactly what he is, but it's not like he's proud like a leopard. He's just sort of hunched up, and I love the photos and I love the details and I love the story that they tell. And I'm told it's quite rare to actually find the hyenas because I think they're nocturnal, so we did pretty well on this trip. The lodge here is one of the most beautiful places I've ever stayed. Look at this for a room.
Welcome to Lazy Safari.
I can see some warthogs outside my window. And the warthogs also came and visited us at dinner. I mean, if you want to be in the wild, in and amongst it, we bloomin' were.
Get out in nature, they said. It'll be fun, they said. It'll be relaxing. Last night, there were so many animal noises in the room. It was so hard to sleep. It sounded like there was a hyena wanting to get into my bathroom at one point. I thought it was going to be, you know, relaxing, nature sounds, but no. It sounded like things were trying to herd me up and kill me.
On our final day at this lodge, though we had many more adventures to come, we met up with the anti-poaching team and we did a trek on foot to find the rhino. They are huge, they are silent, they are so beautiful. It did bring a tear to my eye just seeing these beautiful animals in the wild and how vulnerable they are. I hate humans sometimes, to be perfectly honest. The one thing that the anti-poachers told us, which was wonderful, was how rhinos are, you know, they can charge at you if they want to, but they have very bad eyesight and they exist in the world through incredible sense of smell. So the guide very, very seriously suggested that, like, if a rhino charges at you, take off an item of clothing, throw it on the floor and run in the opposite direction. And I just had visions of like half-naked screaming people coming out of the bush, you know, just trying to throw the clothes everywhere to try and get away from these rhino. Thankfully, no one got charged on our trip and we got very close, but we were also very respectful. Now I've got to do a little bit of a humble brag on this experience because it was one of the coolest things I've ever done. The way that we were getting round Namibia is with a self-driving Defender experience. I've never been in 100 yards of a car this nice, let alone driving one. Our Defender had 2 fridges, it had a tent box in the top, it had an amazing sound system, which we used very, very effectively. My fellow creator and photographer Hannah, who is an absolute rock star, shared the driving with me and we both had the time of our lives in these cars. The next stop on the trip was camping out overnight. You want to be in the wild? We were in the wild.
Welcome to my crib. There's not really much to see. I have a cot, very comfy, a place to put my stuff. It's going to be so much fun.
So sorry. I'm a YouTube crasher.
The best kind. The best kind. Check out Hannah's channel. She's amazing.
It's just in German. I'm sorry.
Check out Hannah's Instagram. It's amazing. So, we've set up camp. This is my tent. This is my gin and tonic. And I've been giving some thought about what I want from this trip. 3 really good animal photographs. And I think I've made a very good start on our first stop. But now here, there's fewer animals, but there's going to be so much amazing landscapes. So how about I try and find my 3 top animal photos and my 3 top landscape photos. That's the plan. Tonight, I'm going to drink gin, sleep in a tent, and enjoy the good company of my fellow camera nerds. And find my record button. I'm obsessed with this shot. Stunning. But it's very underexposed in my camera. So what I'm going to do is rack it. That way I know I've got all the information I need. I could probably pull it back from one roll, but this might make it a bit cleaner if I stack it.
The sunsets that I saw here were incredible. We got a beautiful little campground set up. I had an astrophotography extravaganza. It wasn't ideal because we were basically at a full moon, so as soon as the moon came up over the ridge, it was done for. But before that, because we were in the middle of nowhere, we had such clean skies. I tried it with numerous cameras, and here are the OM1 Mark II results. I absolutely love this live composite photo, and I didn't even notice at the time, but when I was shooting my time lapses, the other guys were painting with lasers on the cliff face, so I managed to capture that here. There was no phone signal, no electricity. We heated the shower water with a can on the fire. It was just a brilliant place to really disconnect from the rest of the world and concentrate on photography and being in nature. I also had a little go of some car photography, which I've never tried before, but I don't think I did too bad for my first attempt. And if I were to make some wall art from these non-animal photos, I think these 3 images probably work best together. But let me know what you think in the comments. Which ones are your favourites? Then it was on to our 3rd place to stay, just casually via some sand dunes. You know, as you do. We went off-roading with the Defenders on the sand, we saw a shipwreck by the beach. Just incredible. And our 3rd lodge, Hosteen Lodge, had a watering hole out front, so again it was a great spot for some lazy safari.
Lazy Safari Part 2. Got a comfy seat, and then I've got the watering hole. What a great place. I'm going to tell you all about how the OM1 Mark II and all my bag of tricks performed on a bike trip, I think. We're at Hosteen Lodge today in Namibia, and we can just get bikes and go on a little game drive. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully I won't get eaten by anything. Go on a bike, she said. It'll be fun, she said. Because I was in a car with some seasoned professionals, everyone utilised silent shutter mode, which was very important when we got very close to certain animals. And it was very interesting being in the car and just literally like hearing nothing when people took photos. But I think it's very handy in wildlife situations to use silent shutter. You know, you start vlogging on a bike and then you immediately start going uphill. Well, this might be the coolest place I've ever done a YouTube video. So I've really tweaked how I've set up my OM1 Mark II on this trip, and I've utilised the C buttons. There's 4 customised buttons on the dial that you can use. I have C2 as my main one, which is single silent shutter with animal detect, so larger bodied animals. And then on C1, I have my Pro Capture SH2 and bird detection. So if I see a bird, I can just whack it on C1. I've got Pro Capture ready. I can half press the shutter, and then when the bird flies away or whatever, I know that I've captured it. And then on C3, I have animal detection again, but with sequential burst in silent mode again. So that's great for if I know that an animal's about to start running or something. I can quickly move to C3 and know that I have some more burst modes. I like to personally use my burst modes quite sparingly. In the heat of the moment, you can fire away, but then you're stuck with hundreds of gigabytes and hundreds and thousands of photographs in the edit. So on this trip, I wanted to be very selective about when I use the burst modes to get the most out of it, but also to help future Emily when it comes to editing. And it's done me really well this week. Every time I use Big White, I'm obsessed with the teleconverter clutch. Just listen to this. Just feels so fun and satisfying to use. And also sometimes knocking the camera into manual focus if I want a clip of video and it's a bit tricky through branches or leaves. So I can set focus with the animal subject detection, knock it into manual focus, and then I know that the video is going to be fine so long as the animals don't move towards me. I've no doubt in my mind that the OM System OM3 could have captured every single photo and video that I've taken with this big boy in exactly the same quality, but the comforts that you get with the OM1 Mark II are second to none, really. I've very much enjoyed having a very decent grip. I've very much enjoyed having a softer eyepiece, and I just think for this style of photography with the bigger, heavier lenses, the OM1 Mark II is ideal. For me at home, because I sort of dabble in a bit of this and a bit of that, you can get away with a long weekend shooting wildlife with the OM3, but if you're shooting all day for weeks doing wildlife, there's just so much comfort to be had with the OM1 Mark II. It's very nice. In terms of lugging around the bigger lenses, even though Big White is a chunky boy, admittedly, with the bracket on it, it's very easy to carry, very comfortable to carry. Little White's even easier. It's very balanced, very easy to walk around with. Often this morning, like when I was out at sunrise, I had like my standard lens on one camera around my neck, and I was just carrying this like this. It just works. I've been dabbling with how I like the bracket on this trip. Usually my instinct is to just stick it out of the way because I have quite short hands, so sometimes I'll just leave it at the top. But what my friend Hannah has suggested, which I've been trying, she's a wonderful wildlife photographer, is keep the bracket loose and then you can sort of use it as balance. I can just about reach, but then if we turn portrait, I can take it with me. So throughout this video, you'll see lots of clips of me completely disregarding the bracket and sometimes getting to grips with it. And I think it's well worth trying to see what you like best as a photographer. One thing that I've concentrated on this trip more than I have in the past is lighting. Having an encounter with an animal at around sunset or sunrise is just 10 times more spectacular than when the lighting is flat. As humans, we can enjoy the experience of seeing the animals, but as photographers, I think we need to really chase the light. One thing that I've done loads of this trip is backlighting. I just love that warm glow and the haze and the dust clouds coming in, even some lens flares dirtying up the frame. They may not be the most, traditional wildlife photos that you might see on people's walls, but I think it's quite cool and quite an emotive way to show this environment. And if you're wondering why I'm talking quite quiet, there's just loads of wildebeests that I think I've scared off with my amazing tips.
Even though the giraffe is more of a mundane animal in terms of safari, I love this sunrise shot with all the sort of flies around it. I think it just looks so cool.
I've gone back and forth with my third animal image for my wall art, and while I think the giraffe is probably a stronger photo, I just think actually sticking with the same theme of the leopards and the cubs might be the strongest option. So I'm going to go with these photos for my wall when I can afford it, because I've only just moved house.
The OM1 Mark II has completely kicked butt. The dust has not been a problem. I've been spoiled for choice with my bag of tricks with all the fancy lenses I've had on this experience. And I'm just absolutely really happy with the results. So I hope you've enjoyed coming along on this trip with me. I hope you've enjoyed the photos and the video. And if you are heading off on safari anytime soon, I would definitely consider some OM System stuff. It's been ideal.